CenterPoint allows you to print or email billing statements to your customers. If emailing, the invoice statement is attached to an email as a PDF file. You'll first need to set up your email preferences for you as the sender. Under File, Preferences, go to the Email Setup, and then Email Setup again. These are the parameters needed to indicate what the details are for sending the email, and you want to click the Database tab. And if you don't know what this information is for your server information in there or your port, you might want to contact your internet provider, and you can click this little help button in the lower right. That will describe each one of these fields and can help you determine what information is needed there, and if you need a username and password information. You want to have your email address in here, and then you can click the test button that will send you an email and verify that this information is set up correctly. Once you have that email set up, there are different forms that you can use email with in CenterPoint. Billing statements is one of them, and this is where you can set default information that you want filled in when you send this type of form. So we've filled in a subject of CenterPoint statement and put in some information in here, and this just alleviates you having to fill that in every time that you do this particular form. When you're done with your options, you're going to click Save, and the next thing you need to do is fill in the email addresses of your customers. So you go up to Setup and Customers. We're going to select a customer, and then go to the Email Print tab. On the Email Print tab is where you'll fill in the different email addresses for this particular customer. There might be several, but you'll fill in their name and their email address. And then on the particular form you want this email to receive, you will click the down arrow on that form and select if you want send to, send a carbon copy, or send a blind carbon copy. So the different forms will vary that you see depending upon the modules of CenterPoint that you own and have registered. And then down at the bottom are the print options. So if you want this customer to receive a printed customer statement, then you would have print customer statement set at yes. If you have yes down at the bottom and you have an email filled in with the statement on send to, both would be done. They would get the email sent to them, and you would also get a printed copy. One or the other has to be filled in on a customer in order for that customer to show up when you go to do the billing statements. So we're going to go ahead and click Save there. And the other thing you can do is have different send from email addresses. Under Setup, General, go to Email Addresses. And this is where I can have different email addresses of from my organization or outside of my organization. If I need an email sent to an accountant for a particular form, like the billing statements or different things like that, you would fill in the email address, name, and the address, and then indicate here which form is going to be used as the sent from for this particular email address. So for Chris Meyer, that is the email address that's going to be used when I print email invoices and billing statements. And down at the bottom of the screen is when you're printing customer invoices or sales orders, you can also have an email sent to a salesperson attached to that invoice. And then you're going to go ahead and save that. Now we are ready to do the print email statements, billing statements. So we're going to go up to Processes, and under Sales, go to Billing Statements. We have different forms we can select from. We're going to do the plain paper one. And over on the right are parameters. So we have our date selections, and this would involve the activity that you want displayed on their billing statement. That might be just 1 month, or it might be a several month time period. On the outstanding balance, we can select from all balances, just positive or just negative. Balance is greater than, I can set a dollar amount here if I want billing statements for only statements that are above a set amount of dollars. And then you have your different options on if you want all billing statements or only those past due, or in these different aging categories. There's an option of only current activity, yes or no. You can filter for particular customers or do it for all customers. And then we can add an additional message. I'm going to type in here additional message so you see where this is going to show up, and it will be at the bottom of that statement. And if you want your logo included on the statement, you can do that. That's coming from the company setup. And then the header text. You can also add a header text. I'll just put in here quarterly statement, and you'll see where that would show. There are additional other items that you can put in your parameters if we click more items. If you want your statement to have all the details of the different sales items that they purchased on that invoice and the payment details, you can check these boxes and then set this to yes. I'll show you what that will look like if we have all the detail. And that would include more information on their statement for them. Before you do your email print, you're probably going to want to preview and verify that the information you're seeing is what you want them to get. And you'll see here that in their statement, we have their different sales items indicated and their payment information. So that's what details you get when you show all detail. I'll collapse this now. I'll set the detail to no and refresh it so you can see the difference there. And now we see just one line for a particular invoice of the total and the different payments. So a more condensed version. Up at the top is your company information and your customer information. And this is the header text that we entered. And if we scroll down toward the bottom is our additional message that we entered on that parameter, and then your aging information. Once you've verified all this, you can print all of the statements from here and click the print button, but this won't do the email. To do the email, you want to close your statement and then click your email print button. That will display your email form of what you want in the subject and the message that's coming from your preferences, and you could change your send from email address here from here also. If we click continue, that's going to bring up our print box to indicate which printer it's going to, and we could change that from here also. And if we go ahead and click print, that will start the printing of those forms, and then your email statements will come up. And this is performing the email, and it will tell you that the process is completed and your emails will have been sent and your printed forms are completed.